That time I got reincarnated as a demon lord, English, by LordedoMal44. 28 Conversation. Humans and monsters. The meeting between me, the adventurer trio, and Shizu-chan was over. There's not much to talk about it. I knew who they were, I knew where they came from, I knew who had sent them, and I had warned them not to divulge information about our existence. Also, since none of them were lying when they said they wouldn't say anything, there was no need to take any precautions. Despite that, Shizu-chan really intrigued me. She was certainly not an ordinary person, and that was all I could see of her. Even with profane telling me how much sadness the girl carried inside, I couldn't see beyond that. This proves that even now, weakened, this girl was stronger than me, at least when it came to spiritual attacks. Is it because she has a contract with the higher spirit within her? Well, whatever, it's not like I want to make a contract with a spirit or anything. I just think using someone else's power instead of your own power is cheating. Less than. Greater than. Well, even if I did say that, Trainee was a perfect example of a powerful person with a power that wasn't hers alone, and it's not like my own power wasn't, at least in part, borrowed as well. A power that was lent to me by the very voice of the world, and if I wanted to make that power mine, then I would still need a lot of effort. Less than question. Does the Rimuru Tempest subject want to amplify the effects of integrating the unique skill, Great Sage, with the subject's brain? Yes? No? Greater than? That's... What would be the side effects of that, Sage? Less than answer. The subject's thought processing speed would increase more than in the current state. The subject would have unrestricted access to all creation and assessment, which would give an almost instantaneous level of understanding of all things occurring around the individual's world. The effects of Grandmaster would be tripled, control over one's own body would become absolute, the individual to greater than. Can you stop? I don't want to hear any more. After all, what's the catch in that? None of this could come for free. Less than answer. There is no damage to the individual Rimuru Tempest when performing full integration of the unique skill, Great Sage, greater than. Okay. So what do I miss, Sage? There's no way I can gain something without losing something in return. This is the law of equivalent exchange. It is the basics of the Otaku Masters, guardians of the sacred texts. You should know about that. Less than. Greater than. I was silent, just waiting for the sage's answer. There's no way a good thing like this can come without having a price for me. If that were the case, then when I asked the sage to integrate me into his processing, he would have done so from the beginning. So, for him to only bring it up now, then there has to be a hidden catch. Less than answer. By performing complete integration, voice of the world, and parallel processing, would completely link to Rimuru Tempest, allowing direct and complete access to information. The individual could know the answer to all the things he was interested in. Greater than. Then, less than the automatic response, titled, Sage, would cease to exist because it is no longer useful to the individual or lacks efficiency. Greater than. So, in short, would you die? Or, for that matter, disappear? Is that what you're telling me, Sage? Less than. This answer is incorrect or inaccurate. The unique skill, Great Sage, has no life of its own in the first place. Because of this, disabling the automatic reply function could not be considered death. The unique skill could not only be used to fetch an answer, since every answer would be delivered directly to the individual. Greater than. I see. So, I already have my answer. After all, that's the logical answer. Less than understood. Starting preparations for to greater than. Never dared to propose that to me again, do you hear me? Killing the sage? There's no way I can do such a thing. Listen well, Sage. You are the first partner I made when I arrived in this world, a partner I will never leave. Don't you dare propose that I abandon you again. I would never abandon, kill or harm any of my allies, friends and subordinates, even if it was to save my own life. And of course that includes you. Don't you dare propose ceasing to exist again. Less than. This answer is illogical. Unique skill, Great Sage, has no life of its own, so you need to greater than. Sage. In my old world there was a philosopher who said something like, I think, therefore I exist. Is there anything you do more than think for me? There's no way you, the one who's been with me from the beginning, can just be something to me. I've said it before, haven't I? We are partners. Partners never abandon each other. Less than. Greater than so. You can stop this talk of ceasing to exist to make me stronger. Okay. I wouldn't mind getting the answers the same time I ask a question, as that would get tedious. Also, the one I would miss the most is definitely you, my dear robotic voice. Less than understood. Greater than ha. What a relief that this was resolved. With that resolved, I faced the sunset again, thinking about what I would do from now on. 2 weeks, that's about as long as I have left before trainee returns. Even angrier that I'm now with Sylphid, and seeking revenge for the spirit that was stolen. Furthermore, individuals with overwhelming power keep falling into my lap. Shizou being the newest to join the club of those who are or will be after my life someday, and I feel it will only get worse the stronger I get. After all, I did something to offend the world, and now the world wants to kill me? Less than. Greater than do not answer, I'd rather not know. After all, when will I have peace? Less than answer. It is estimated that the Rimuru Tempest individual can achieve peace if he becomes as strong as the Storm Dragon. Veldora is estimated to have been in the past. Greater than. And how strong would that be? I mean, in terms of how strong am I right now? Less than taking into account the skill, storm magic, acquired from the corpse of the Storm Dragon and the amount of residual magicals that were present on the corpse, considering the possibility of death from lack of magicals. Between 100 and 500 times stronger than the individual Rimuru Tempest currently is, greater than. Okay. This is a joke, right? I mean, I'm still weak, and can't compare to the group of idiots I encountered in Dwargon, or even Eren's trio of adventurers from Bloomond. They're just weaker than me, but still, how strong was that damned dragon? Also, how did humanity, being as weak as it appears, manage to survive until the current age with natural catastrophes that just walk or fly loose around the world? Less than the answer to this question is estimated to be to greater than. Slime-san. I stopped listening to the sage and turned around the moment I heard that voice. Of course, the owner of the voice was Shizou-chan. Ah, Shizou-chan. The most beautiful girl in the world. Less than. Greater than Shizou smiled a little embarrassed at my compliment, probably not knowing how she was supposed to react to receiving that kind of compliment from a slime. Well, I can't blame her. After all, if I received a compliment from a slime, even if she was the cutest in the world, I would really be embarrassed. I mean, how am I supposed to react? Well, there's no way that kind of thing could happen. Less than. Greater than also. What is this chill down my spine I felt all of a sudden? I wanted to talk to you some more. If you don't mind, of course. I would never mind talking to a lady as beautiful as you, Shizou-chan. This time Shizou-chan just smiled. Well, yes, I can understand that reaction. She's much older than me, maybe older than I will be since I still don't know how long a slime can live, and apparently the whole world, including the Fairy Queen and the Demon Lords, has the will to see us, slimes, dead. And, being all that old, Shizou-chan. Most likely, she has had experience with other idiotic wooers like me, and it's only natural that she knows how to handle my jokes. Honestly, it even makes you lose the fun of making these kinds of jokes. So what do you want to know, Shizou-chan? I glared at Shizou, who stopped beside me. She was staring at the sunset on the hill, just like me before, and she didn't say anything for a few seconds, so I faced the sun again. You know I'm older than you, don't you? Of course I do. I can see things the eyes can't see. Well, not that I have eyes in the first place. A smile appeared on Shizou-chan's face once more, and she picked me up. Control yourself, Rimuru. Don't lose your attention of what you have to do. Talking without being distracted is very important. Consider this as training to maintain your self-control, even if the world tries to distract you. Slime-san. How old were you when you were transported to this world? I stared at Shizou, wondering if I should tell her or not. A part of me wanted to forget the old me, especially the stupid things I've done, all the humiliations I've been through and all the bullshit I've seen. Even so, this person who was asking was a person from another world, just like me, and somehow, I felt like I was 17. Just a high school student, and, of course, that was just a few months ago. In the end, I chose to tell the truth. Honesty is an important thing, and something that must be reciprocated. And you, Shizu-chan? At what age did you come into this world? Shizu seemed to consider whether to answer or not. The same doubt I had a few seconds ago, something understandable, was what she seemed to be going through now. Well, as I said before, honesty must be repaid with honesty. I was just a child when I was brought into this world. My time must have been a little different from yours, as Japan was at war at the time. I was brought in the middle of a massive bombing that was taking place in my city. At that moment I missed having paid a little more attention to history lessons in my old life, and once again I was grateful that I had asked the sage to sort and separate my memories correctly. Thanks to that I was able to see all the information about the bombing that was in the books and documentaries that I saw in my old life. At the time I was brought to this world by one of the demon lords, Demon Lord Leon Cronwell. I'm not quite sure why he saved me, considering I was badly injured and probably wouldn't survive, but he took me in and saved my life. He made me one of his subordinates for a while. Ha 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 ha. She is a former subordinate of a demon lord. That explains a lot. Less than warning. The individual Rimuru Tempest is scared to death. It is recommended that you pull yourself together, greater than. Hey, of course I'm not scared shitless. I'm just questioning why fate seems to be pairing me with only these monstrosities and calamities alive, or dead if I take Veldora into consideration. Is this my unique skill, luck, taking effect? Less than I repeat. Individual Rimuru Tempest does not have any unique skill, luck, or any skill that affects probabilities. The individual is just, as he was before, in the right place and at the right time when his skills and items are useful and necessary, greater than. You really don't let me dream, do you, sage? And I wanted that skill so bad to increase my damn luck. I really need something like this. Less than. Greater than, at that time, I really enjoyed serving Leon-sama. But, well, what about you, Rimuru? What moves you to act, to form your little monster empire? I stared at Shizu, wondering if I should answer that. Unlike the other question, this was a question that wasn't a good idea to answer. I mean, how do you say to someone, I just want to dominate humans, and continues as if nothing is happening? Well, it's not like I want to reign over humans or anything. I had even forgotten about my vision, actually. When I thought of an empire of monsters, the country of monsters with all races living together, I had completely forgotten that before I had thought of a demon lord who attacks humans. After all, if I no longer want to be that type of demon lord who attacks and dominates humans, then what kind of demon lord do I want to be? I have no idea. Can I be a little honest with you, Shizu-san? I asked, turning towards her, and from her lap I stared into her face. Yes, I was staring at her face, okay? The face. Ignoring this reverie, I continued when I saw Shizu nodding for me to continue. When I started, I confess that it was like everything was a game to me. I was in a different world, I had just gained skills, and I was a monster. There was no way I could even know if what I was seeing was reality or just a pre- or post-death illusion. I talked that, thinking about how excited I was to get even stronger and gain more skills, without even caring what that actually meant. I just wanted to get strong because it looked like fun, because it was the only thing I had to do, and then a chill ran down my spine. I remembered the aura I felt from Gazel Dwargon when I faced him in Dwargon, that frightening aura of an absolute monster. The aura of a creature that was so powerful that my chances of survival against it were absolute zero. After all, how could such a thing be allowed within a game? Finding one of the bosses early on? There was no way this was just a game after that? And then, my chills got even worse. I remembered the old ogre, who although he never fought me in a direct fight would probably have the power to kill me, Trainee, who was coming to kill me in a few weeks and who would be one of my biggest battles, and, of course, I thought on Shizu, who had me in her arms now. Even now, if Shizu really wanted to, she could strike me and kill me with one powerful strike, unleashing her power, the higher spirit within her. I've known the fear of death. I mean, this is my second life, so how could I just give it up so easily when a threat appears? Even if I just want to live my life like an ordinary life. People who do not accept my existence would come after me and kill me. This is not true. I looked at Shizu, who yelled this for a second, and then she seemed to realize what she'd done, which made her face turn red. She looked pretty cute to me at the time. Though that was more due to a slightly naive response from a person who must have been much older and more experienced than me, and not because of her flushed face. Trainee. That's the name of the Dryad, the guardian of the forest. She came to kill me last week, and she even said it was just because I was a slime. Gazel, the leader of the nation of Dwargon, might be next to try, considering our estrangement and his spies who are monitoring me. And you. I don't see you being my ally. Shizue looked a little taken aback by my words, not expecting me to put her on my enemy list. Well, I didn't want to put her on my enemies list either, but it's not like I had a choice. What else could I expect? Humans and monsters, water and oil. These two pairs have something in common, and that something is that they don't mix. Are you saying we're enemies? Of course not. I'm not looking for enemies, as long as they don't get in the way of my goals. But, well, you're a human. That doesn't change. You only fight for humans, even though you know how rotten we can be. So, sooner or later, we're going to end up as enemies. I averted my gaze back to the sunset, which was already drawing to a close. By any chance, if humans start a war with us, won't you side with them? I didn't wait for an answer. I didn't expect there to be a right answer in the first place. To say that she would side with me, on the side of the monster empire, if it were true would be like betraying her human side. And at the same time, if it was a lie it would be like betraying a fellow friend from the same world. Any answer Shizue gave would be the wrong answer. After all, only she gave the right answer, didn't she? But she is not here with me. There's no way I can make her dreams come true. Not without her here. And why do humans and monsters have to be enemies? I disagree with that. I don't want that. I turned towards Shizue again, checking to see if she wasn't here, as I had heard the same words from that day. Still, she wasn't here. It was Shizue who was there, holding me in her arms, and with the same fearless smile that I saw on her face before. They're kind of similar, aren't they? If it's impossible, just make it possible. You, with your nation of monsters, and I, with my influence among humans. Together we can achieve peace for both groups. This time, the speech was not hers, but what I had answered her that day. A hero and a demon lord. Together, we will bring peace to yours and mine.